Denise Roach.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I rise to take a short 5-minute call on the Organised Crime and Anti-Corruption Bill for the Greens. Sir, we will be supporting this bill despite the fact that we don't think that it really goes far enough. We agree that this bill is overdue, and we fully support this bill being enacted, as it will allow New Zealand to ratify and comply with international agreements and conventions. Conventions like the United Nations Convention Against Corruption and the agreement between the United States and New Zealand on enhancing cooperation in preventing and combating crime, the OECD Convention on combating bribery of foreign public officials in international business transactions, the United Nations Convention Against Transnational Organised Crime, and also, sir, the United Nations Anti-Trafficking Protocol. And I agree with the previous speaker about this insidious crime, and it's well overdue that we're doing something about it to ensure that we meet our international standards. Sir, as the New Zealand Police Association outlined in their submission to the Select Committee, which I wasn't on, but I've read their submission, they said that this bill will improve New Zealand's ability to address crime both locally, combat crime internationally, and tighten up the provisions in the Crimes Act around human trafficking as it applies to the activity that takes place in New Zealand. And there's no doubt, sir, that this is needed, and quite frankly, it's well overdue. But the area where we think the bill falls down, and others have spoken about it, but I'll add my 2 cents' worth as well, the area where we think this bill falls down is around what is called facilitation payments, basically small bribes. And the Ministry of Justice in their reports give examples of what these facilitation payments are as small bribes for things that would be like the granting of permits or licences, or the provision of utility services, or the loading or unloading of cargo. Essentially, the bill, as it's written at the moment, would exempt these sorts of payments from being recorded, because the Ministry maintains that these payments would not yield any undue advantage, and that's exactly what they say, undue advantage. But we believe, sir, that payments to grease the wheels should be resisted at every opportunity. If we allow small-scale corruption to continue and thrive, then where do we draw the line? Where does it go from there? Does it escalate? Does it de-escalate? Generally in these sorts of things, it escalates. And undoubtedly, it allows the culture of corruption to continue. And given that countries like Australia and the United Kingdom have taken a very strong stand to stamp out facilitation payments, and even India and China are actively working to get rid of this type of small-scale corruption, surely we should be doing more to ensure that our laws prohibit this type of bribery. The bill is an opportunity to take a really strong stance here, and I believe by not doing so, we undermine our reputation as a country that rates highly with Transparency International for being an honest country, for having open and transparent government. And I note, sir, that this reputation is built not only on our laws like the Official Information Act, but also on our public service who do not take bribes. Sir, Transparency International released a statement yesterday which said that they were bitterly disappointed about the loss of opportunity this bill has provided by maintaining the allowance for small payments or small bribes to occur. And they make no bones about the fact that it endangers our standing in the international community. And I agree with the President of Transparency International New Zealand, who says there's no such thing as a harmless bribe. And I certainly hope that the government will reconsider that clause in this bill. when it comes to the Committee of the Whole House, and that they will support the supplementary order paper that will be brought to the House on this issue by my colleague David Clendon. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker.